You think every instrument is its own journey? As you play guitar, you play bass, you sing. Just the mastery of an instrument, or let's avoid the word mastery, the understanding of an instrument is its own thing, or are they somehow like physical manifestations of the same thing?
It's both. Like every instrument has its strengths, beauty, limitations, range, like possible range that can, be extended to some degree or another, depending on who you are. Like trumpet or something, like certain people can hit higher notes than others, blah, blah, blah. But that being said, we're all playing the same 12 or 24 or however you divide the octave, that many notes. We're all playing the same notes. So in that sense, it's all the same thing. It's just music, or better yet, it's just art or expression. But yeah, every instrument has, you got to go through the physical aspects of it, the motor skills and all of that. And hopefully you get through that really quickly so you can get to the expression quickly. Because if you get stuck in just that first phase, that's be really boring.
Yeah, but that's a pretty long phase. The technical skill required to really play an instrument.
For some people, it's a long thing, and some people it's short. It very, very much varies. It might have to do with like how you learn, and getting to know like your strengths in learning, like more oral or more like, is it more like like what's your strength, and playing off of those strengths. So for me, like it was like I was saying earlier, it was just an intuitive thing that I knew I can feel when my brain is full, like that it needs processing time. And so I listen to that. I don't push past it. Even if it's like 1 minute and I do something, I'm like, okay, silence. And then I come back and it's and I trust that it's going to be there, and it is there. So just trusting yourself, I think, is really important. Trusting that you know you better than anybody else is going to know you. So that's the kind of thing with teachers that can be either really, really helpful and great, or really not great. Like I'm primarily self-taught. I've had amazing mentors of all walks of life. And I think I'm unbelievably blessed that my mentors are some of my favorite musicians on earth, whether it's Leonard Cohen or Jeff Beck or Wayne Shorter, whoever these people are, like they are my favorite musicians. So not everyone has that opportunity, but what the opportunity that we have now that I didn't have when I was starting is that everything's on YouTube. Like every interview with every genius, like you don't need to necessarily have these people in person now. I mean, and then I'll say to that, yes and no. I agree with myself, and then I don't agree with myself. And the reason is I do believe that there is something that happens when you're in person with a master. In some cases that there is something transferred that is not intellectual, it's not spoken, there's something else that happens, that can happen, that I've experienced. And I really value that.
And I think that applies to specific disciplines and also generally. Like I've been around Olympic gold medalists just to hang out with them for several days. And there's something about greatness. There's a way about them that kind of permeates the space around them. You kind of learn something from it. Yeah. Even if you don't practice that particular discipline.
Yeah.
There's something to it. If you're able to see it. I also like what you said about the playing stuff in your head, that it forces you to not be lost in the physical learning of the instrument. I think that's one of the things I probably regret a little bit. So I play both piano and guitar, and I've become quite, over the years, technically proficient at the instruments. But I think my mind is underdeveloped because of that. Meaning, like, I can't really, like, I can feel the music when it's created, but I can't create out of the feeling. I haven't practiced the projecting the feeling onto the music. You know what I mean? And I'm not like a musician, but I'm just it's a different muscle that I think is, if you really want to create beautiful things, you have to. The creation happens here, not with your hands.
It's more here,
or whatever, whichever. It's some part of the body, but it's not with your fingers.
Yeah, because I think the fingers is more this.
Sure.
And then.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's here.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just nice that you said that, because it's probably really good advice if you want to create.
Yeah, slowing down is really great too.
What do you mean slowing down?
Slowing everything down. It could be, I can play something really fast, but I may want to like practice it. Yeah. Like.
Go slow as possible.
Because there's all these micro movements and that are happening that if you just go, like you can't pay as close attention to the exact tone that you're pulling from each note. And there's a lot to pay attention to how my fingers are touching the string here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can change my tone a million ways just by the direction of this finger.
Mm-hmm.
And same with how this lands and how hard I'm attacking the string. And with what intention am I hitting the string? Emotionally, physically. And so even if you can go blah, 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 play that so slow. See how locked into a pocket you can be. See how you like feel every aspect of that. Because then when it gets sped up, it's still there with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
It's kind of like the transcended and included thing that Ken Wilber talks about. Like, it's like.
And I guess that's what meditation can do for you, is to like really listen to your, like observe every aspect of your body, the breath and all this. Here you're observing every element, like every super detailed element of playing a single note.
Yeah.
That's cool that if you speed it up, it's still there with you.
It is. Yeah, it is. Because I hear, there are certain people, it's like they play really fast, but I don't hear the fullness of tone always. And it's like, well, it's probably because maybe it's because they didn't slow it down and really sit with each note and let it like resonate through their whole being. Mm-hmm. It's spiritual. It's like a spiritual expression. It's not just like, it's not a sport. A lot of people treat music like a sport.
Yeah. Since starting to learn more like Stevie Ray Vaughan versus Jimi Hendrix, I would spend quite a long time on single notes of just bending, just listening to what you can do with bends, spending. Just thinking like people like B.B. King and all these blues musicians like spend a career just making a single note cry.
Yeah.
There's like an art form to that.
Yeah.
And I think you putting it like taking it really slow, which I never really thought of, is a really good idea. Like really slow it down.
It's the same with like sitting with your own emotions. It's like when emotions are overwhelming to us, we get real busy or we move real fast because it's like we don't want to feel our feelings. And those are the moments to slow yourself down.
And observe it. Anger, jealousy.
And just be with it. Yeah, just be with it. Be cool with it. Like love it. Love the anger.